Now, Combs did not do this all on his own. As I mentioned, Combs has been charged with RICO conspiracy. He used his business and employees of that business and other close associates to get his way.
If Trump wins, that F6 client list is going to become public.
Yes.
And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
Yeah. Do you think Reid Hoffman's uncomfortable?
Yes.
Definitely everybody and did this and everyone. And then we're like, well, how do you know? He's like, I read. Not really, doesn't really mean anything.
So it looks like Joe Rogan and Elon Musk are back at it, throwing some serious shade at Diddy's mysterious lifestyle. They've been talking about all these secret getaways and hidden hideouts, and honestly, it's kind of crazy. Apparently, some of Hollywood's biggest names are going off the grid, and the names they've dropped and the reasons behind it are honestly jaw-dropping. First up, Diddy's close friend Ellen DeGeneres has totally vanished. Since the whole Diddy drama started, she's pretty much disappeared from the public eye, and it turns out she's done more than just lay low. She's even changed her entire look. There are new photos of Ellen floating around, and she was spotted in a small pub in England with her wife, looking pretty different with a new hairstyle, while Ellen says she moved because of the state of America after Trump's win. Some people think there's more to it, maybe her ties to Diddy and the things she's been trying to keep quiet. And some even think she's worried about Trump's promise to lock up people like her, which could explain why she moved so suddenly. But here's the thing, no one knows who exactly went to Diddy's private island. Doesn't that seem a little odd? People are definitely curious, and if the names ever do come out, it might shock a lot of people. Word is Ellen and her wife left for the UK because of the election. They're now living in Cotswolds, this quiet town in England. But Ellen and Diddy have always had a close relationship, and now with everything going on with Diddy's empire falling apart, things are getting pretty messy. Diddy was a frequent guest on Ellen's show, where he'd talk about his wild parties, and Ellen would laugh along like it was all fun and games. But now some are wondering if she knew more than she let on. Let's be real for a second, Ellen DeGeneres isn't exactly the kind person she's always claimed to be. For years, her be kind mantra has been a central part of her public persona, but now there's a growing number of people questioning if it was just a well-crafted image. The cracks in that image are starting to show, and they're hard to ignore. One of the most shocking moments that has resurfaced recently is when actress Dakota Johnson called Ellen out during an interview for lying about not being invited to her birthday party. Dakota, in a pretty epic move, pointed out that Ellen had, in fact, been invited, and the exchange put Ellen in an awkward spot. This wasn't just an innocent misunderstanding, it was a direct example of how Ellen's public persona didn't quite align with her behavior behind the scenes. That moment made people take a closer look at her interactions with others, and the more they looked, the more they started to realize that there were plenty of instances of Ellen being rude or dismissive toward guests, and it wasn't just celebrities calling her out. Former employees of the Ellen DeGeneres show have spoken out, describing an environment that was anything but kind. They've described her as the meanest person in Hollywood, with some alleging that her off-camera behavior didn't match up to the warm and friendly image she projected to the world. When you hear about the mistreatment of staff, it makes you rethink everything you thought you knew about her. Could all those years of her be kind speeches and viral dance videos have been just smoke and mirrors? It's hard not to feel deceived, and it seems like more and more people are waking up to the reality behind her show. But wait, there's more. People are also starting to dig into some of Ellen's past social media posts, and there's one in particular that's raising a lot of eyebrows. Ellen posted a birthday shout-out for Diddy a while back, listing all of his different names: Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, you name it. At the time, it just seemed like a friendly gesture, a simple birthday post. But with everything that's been happening with Diddy recently, people are starting to look at that post in a different light. Now, they're wondering if Ellen's connection to Diddy goes deeper than just a casual friendship. With the unsettling drama surrounding Diddy's life and his alleged connections to some serious accusations, could Ellen's post be a clue? Maybe it's not just a random shout-out, but a sign that she's been involved in some questionable dealings herself. Then, of course, there are the rumors about Ellen's past relationships. 2 of her former partners reportedly passed away under mysterious circumstances. That's a pretty chilling detail, especially when you consider how little information has ever been made public about these deaths. Now, as people start to dig deeper into her past, there's a growing theory that Ellen might have tried to silence these individuals because they knew too much about her. Some believe that these former partners could have had knowledge of Ellen's alleged shady dealings, and their untimely deaths may have. It's a pretty wild theory, but when you start connecting the dots between Ellen's questionable behavior toward others, her cryptic relationship with Diddy, and the mysterious circumstances surrounding her former partners, it's hard not to start questioning everything. Is there more to Ellen's story than what we've been told? Are her years of fame built on lies, manipulation, and carefully constructed appearances? The more people look into her past, the more they're uncovering, and it seems like Ellen's be kind image might have been nothing more than a facade along. So what's really going on with Ellen? Is she as innocent as she's made herself out to be, or is there a darker side to her story that's been hidden from the public for years? As more details come to light, it seems like the truth might be far more complicated than we ever imagined. Maybe it's time to take a closer look at the people we think we know and question whether the persona they project is really who they are behind closed doors. Things take an even darker turn when you think about the tragic death of Ellen's former DJ Steven Twitch boss. While it's been reported that he tragically took his own life, there's this wild conspiracy theory going around that he was being blackmailed. The theory is that Twitch might have discovered something really damning at one of Diddy's parties, and once he learned too much, things went south. Now, with Diddy reportedly working with the feds, people are wondering if Ellen's name will come up in the investigation. If it does, the fallout could be huge, and it might explain why she left for the UK so suddenly. Even Elon Musk couldn't resist getting in on the drama. When Ellen hinted at leaving the country, he dropped a cryptic emoji in response. If you know Elon, you know he doesn't just drop random emojis. There's definitely more to this than meets the eye, and fans are totally intrigued. And to make things even crazier, there's a rumor going around that Oprah Winfrey might be involved in Diddy's secret life too. Where it is, the feds have brought her in for questioning, linking her to Diddy's notorious parties, but instead of dealing with the heat, Oprah's apparently fled the country. Her excuse is that she wants to avoid the political drama surrounding Trump's re-election, but many people think it's to get away from Diddy's ongoing investigation. Oprah has always been involved in controversy, but now things are getting even murkier. Rumors about her attending Diddy's wild parties have been around for years, and now her connection to Harvey Weinstein is coming back into the spotlight. Old photos of Oprah with Weinstein have surfaced, and people are wondering how much she knew about his behavior. With the recent overturning of Weinstein's conviction, critics are pointing out that Oprah stayed silent during his scandal even though she had the platform to do something about it. It's making people question just how much she knew and why she chose to stay quiet. Okay, so let's talk about something that's wild. You remember how Oprah once endorsed this Brazilian spiritual healer named John of God? She called him a miracle worker, right? Well, turns out that didn't age well. A few years later, this guy was exposed for being involved in a trafficking ring. Yikes. Oprah definitely helped bring him into the spotlight, and let's just say it hasn't worked out in her favor. And speaking of Oprah, remember that all-girls school she built in South Africa? She poured millions into it, hoping it would be her legacy, but just months after it opened, there were allegations of assault. Oprah had to fly out there, dismiss some staff, and publicly said it was one of the most devastating moments of her life. She's donated a ton of money to education, but with all these controversies, how do we really see her now? Now let's shift gears and talk about Leonardo DiCaprio. Apparently, right when Diddy's life is falling apart, Leo's off in Italy with his new girlfriend. Pretty perfect timing, huh? Now, the rumor mill is going crazy, and people are wondering if Leo's really just vacationing, or if there's more to the story. Diddy's facing some serious charges, and with Leo's ties to him, could he be pulled into the drama when Diddy's trial starts in 2025? Let's dive deeper into the drama surrounding Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, because this one has a lot of layers. Word on the street is that the famous Hollywood couple is looking to leave the glitz and glamour of Tinseltown behind. But the big question is, why are they suddenly deciding to pack up and head out? Could it have something to do with the mess surrounding Diddy right now? Now, if you remember back in the day, Ashton and Diddy were pretty close. They ran in the same circles, partied at the same events, and were regulars at Diddy's infamous white parties. It was the kind of Hollywood friendship that seemed tight-knit, like they were partners in crime at all the A-list events. But with everything that's happening with Diddy right now, the serious legal charges, the public scrutiny, and the looming trial, it's no surprise that people are starting to wonder if Ashton's decision to quietly slip out of the Hollywood spotlight is connected to his past ties with the music mogul. Ashton and Mila might be trying to keep things under wraps, but it's tough to ignore the timing. They've both been in the public eye for years, and their personal lives are always under a magnifying glass. But with the recent resurfacing of the Diddy drama, it's clear that Ashton's connection to the mogul might be more than just a passing acquaintance. Could Ashton be trying to distance himself from Diddy before things get worse? Is this move to leave Hollywood all about protecting his reputation and his family, especially with the feds reportedly digging into everyone's ties to Diddy? It's hard to ignore the possibility, but that's not all. If you remember earlier this year, Ashton and Mila found themselves in the middle of another controversy. They faced major backlash when they defended their former That 70s Show co-star Danny Masterson, who was convicted of some really serious crimes. People weren't just criticizing them for their statements, they were questioning their values, their judgment, and their association with someone convicted of such severe charges. The fallout from that was immediate and intense. It forced both Ashton and Mila to step back from some of their public commitments, including Ashton's role in his own anti-child exploitation charity, which he later resigned from. So when you add that to the mix, it starts to look like they're trying to escape not just the Diddy scandal, but the general whirlwind of bad press surrounding them. But here's the kicker, as if this all weren't enough, there's been growing speculation about the state of their marriage. Could the pressure of defending Danny Masterson plus the Diddy situation be driving a wedge between them? Fans and tabloids are having a field day, questioning whether Ashton and Mila's relationship is on the rocks. Sure, they've denied it and put out statements claiming everything is fine, but let's be real, when there's this much drama, it's hard for anyone to believe that things are fine. The speculation about their marriage is just the cherry on top of what has been a crazy year for them. So what's the deal with Ashton and Mila? Are they truly leaving Hollywood to escape the heat, or is there something more going on behind the scenes? The timing of their move and the mounting pressure they're facing between their connection to Diddy and the fallout from defending Danny Masterson raises some serious questions. Could they be trying to protect their family from even more public scrutiny? Is this a calculated move to keep their personal lives from getting dragged any further into the mess? Then, of course, there's the bigger question, are any of these stars truly innocent in all of this, or are they just doing their best to stay out of the limelight before they get pulled into something bigger? Oprah, Leo, Ashton, each one has been linked to their own share of scandals, and their efforts to distance themselves are raising more questions than answers. With Diddy's trial coming up and all eyes on Hollywood as the drama continues to unfold, who knows who might be the next one to be dragged into this web of controversy. So what do you think? Is Ashton Kutcher trying to escape the heat, or is there something deeper at play here? And how do you feel about Oprah, Leo, and the rest of the crew? Are they just trying to stay under the radar, or are they running from something bigger?